Hey everybody, welcome to Something Suddenly Came Up. I'm Leann, and this is my real life sis, the Groovy Granny. And as always, we're going to talk about all things 60s, 70s, and 80s. That is all things fun, pop culture, movies, trivia of all sorts, but nothing heavy, nothing political. And take it away, Groovy Granny. What are we covering today?
Well, today we're once again going to move from the TV screen to the movie screen, and we are going to talk about our favorite actors, and we've shortened our time frame to the 1980s. So that's a little, I thought it was going to be a little more challenging for me, that I would be better, older movies than that. But I realized once I started kind of looking at movies from the 1980s, like, oh, I love that movie. I love that. I love that actor. I love that actor. So I got my five.
I did too. I really did too. I think the 80s really had a nice mix of like blockbusters with thrillers. There was kind of a film noir aspect to the 80s. There was definitely the action movie. That was king of the 80s,
Yeah.
but a lot of great comedies too, I think. Um,
Yes, for
and of,
sure.
and of course, the whole Rat Pack era too, our Brat Pack era, I should
The
say, not the
Brat
Rat
Pack.
Pack, the
Yes.
Brat Pack. That's a whole other, that's probably a show all by itself. But
Yeah.
yeah, so okay, what's your number five favorite 80s actor in movies?
So most of mine are older guys, except one. He's older now, but he was
Okay.
young at the time.
Yeah.
But my number five is a great actor that I don't believe has ever been honored with any awards, and that's Danny Glover.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So the
Lethal
couple of the
Weapon.
movies that he was in that I saw that I really loved, well, he was in The Color Purple.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
actually played a really despicable guy.
Hmm.
But as the movie moves on and you see like what his father does to him and how he treats him, and you begin to have a little bit of sympathy for him. And I think that's what makes a great actor, someone who can
Right.
convince you that one minute I'm absolutely despicable, and the next minute I can make you feel a little bit empathetic towards me. And I think he really did a great job in that movie. I really like that movie. It's tragic. It's a really long movie, so for it to hold your interest. There was a lot of very good acting in it, for
And
sure.
that's starring Whoopi Goldberg, right? She played
Whoopi
the
Goldberg
lead.
was the lead.
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey was in
Yeah,
this movie. I believe it
yeah.
was, I don't know if it was her acting debut or not. I feel like it was.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I believe, I'm trying to think of the name of the lady that played Shug. Who Danny, well, I won't go into all the details, but Danny Glover's character actually loved her, but he married Whoopi because he needed somebody to help take care of his children.
Yes,
And
yes.
Shug was like the juke joint singer.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
is it Olivia Colman who played her? I don't know. I've seen this same actress in many roles, and I just think she's terrific. And she was in this movie as well.
I
And then
remember.
another one, I don't know if you saw this one. It's a Sally Field movie called Places in the Heart.
Oh, yes. Didn't she win an Academy Award for that
Yes,
movie?
she did. She
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
She
yes.
takes in two boarders, I believe, and Danny Glover
Mhm.
is. And I'm trying to remember, was Danny Glover the one that was blind? Um,
Yes, I believe so. That was a
I
movie mom really liked. I remember her renting it
Yeah,
from the video store.
it
Yeah.
was very touching. And
Mhm.
again, all great actors in that movie. And of course Lethal Weapon, is his
That was
series.
my first answer. I said Lethal Weapon
Yeah,
at first.
it's
Yeah.
his series with Mel Gibson. He's the perfect foil for Mel Gibson's craziness.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I just really admire him as an actor. Moving into like the 2000s, he was in the movie Dreamgirls,
That's right. Yeah,
and
he's a
I love that
whirlwind.
movie so much. And again, his billing kind of slipped down because there was a lot of really big stars
Right.
in
Heavy
that movie.
hitters in that movie. Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
really he grabs you on screen every time.
I love that. That's an awesome pick. I love that. Of course, I did
Yeah.
think Lethal Weapon first, being having been
Yeah.
a kid and a teen in the 80s. But yeah, you're right. He's a very, very good actor. And like you said, he could play somebody kind of despicable or somebody very heartfelt. He can do it
Yes.
all. Mhm.
Yes.
Quite
Very
good.
much so.
Okay, so my number five pick is a heavy hitter, but I really think of him, even though his career certainly spans other decades, I think of him as having some huge blockbusters in the 80s, and that's Michael Douglas.
Oh,
Because
yes.
I think of Wall Street, Romancing the Stone. I really liked that movie. I thought that was so great. Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito.
Hmm.
But what I remember Michael Douglas from the most, and it affected me so much watching the movie, was Fatal Attraction. I mean, what a movie, right? Glenn
So
Close.
Michael Douglas is my number three.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
And I
okay.
actually included the same movies.
Yes.
Wait, what was the other one? Oh, yes, Romancing the Stone. Did you say
Mhm.
Wall Street
I
also?
did. I did.
Yeah,
I did. Those were huge hits in the 80s, but Fatal Attraction, right? That really was something
that,
fresh and new.
yes,
It had a film noir vibe, but it was very almost a horror movie vibe, little hint in there too. But it had one of my favorite actresses who, like you say about Danny Glover, I feel like she doesn't get enough accolades, and that's Anne Archer. I
yes.
really, really like Anne Archer. Beautiful. She can play a little funny. She plays his wife in the movie. And spoiler alert, everyone, turn this off immediately if you haven't seen Fatal Attraction. Turn it off. Go see it. Come back. Glenn Close at her crazy best, right? Um, and just so many lessons in this.
Yes.
Oh,
Where
God.
you walk out going, uh-huh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. So Michael Douglas essentially is a busy businessman. He's got Ann Archer for a wife at home. They seem to have a great relationship. They have a cute kid, a nice dog, and he has a new coworker played by not the Glenn Close you guys know. This is sexy, big perm, short skirt Glenn Close, who is very much playing a femme fatale in this. And she seduces him, and I think in about 8 minutes and 27 seconds.
Doesn't
Right?
take
I mean,
long.
yeah, if that long. So this guy with, yeah, great family at home, he has an affair with his coworker, and she becomes obsessed with him.
In a
Correct?
really scary freaking way.
In a scary way. And there's imagery in it that felt very like Hitchcock imagery. Yeah. And again,
Yes.
gang spoilers, so turn it off if you haven't seen it. But she cooks the little kid's rabbit.
That's the
Like you
worst
might
part.
say, oh, I eat rabbit. No, no, no. Like boiled this kid's rabbit in the pot when they come home. She like
Yes.
starts to come after his family. Yeah. It's
I totally agree with you about Anne Archer, where
love her.
Glenn Close is brilliantly psychotic in this
Mhm.
movie. Anne
Mhm.
Archer has a quiet, very deep feeling. You feel her pain
You
in
do.
this movie,
Yes.
because she is the wife that was cheated on, and how they go about trying to hang together with it, and this whole series of craziness, and
Mhm.
then she gets drawn into it. It just really, it's a cautionary tale.
It is a cautionary tale. And even as I would have been probably in my teens when it came out, but I remember being like, you have Ann Archer at home.
I
I
was
mean,
just
it's just,
that she's beautiful.
I know. And it's so interesting. It's an interesting tale because you can tell he's still very interested in his wife. It's not that
Yes,
story like she doesn't understand me or whatever.
right,
They have the
right.
cutest daughter who I can't remember the actress's name, but
I can't
I
either.
don't
I've
think
never
you've
seen
seen
her
her.
in anything else. Have you?
Now, people watching at home, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this little girl in Christmas Vacation plays Ruby Sue, the little
Oh,
girl that apparently her falls in a well, her eyes crossed, gets kicked by a mule and the uncrossed Clark. That little one. But I don't think she was in anything after that to speak of. And she was So good in Fatal Attraction, right?
She
Little
really was.
precocious.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cute, very cute. But anyway, that's my pick for number five, Mr. Michael Douglas. But
And
two
he
of
was my
five.
number three.
Okay, good to know. There we
We're
go.
on the
Great
same
minds think
wavelength there.
alike. All right,
My
number
number four
four.
is equally a great actor, and I love so many of the movies he was in. His name is William Hurt.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
my favorite movie that he was in was Broadcast News, which
Okay.
had Holly Hunter
And
and
Kathleen
Albert
Turner.
Brooks,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
who
yeah.
was so sweet in that movie. It's a
Diane,
it's about network news, and Holly Hunter, is it Holly Hunter? Yes,
I
Holly
don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. Not Kathleen Turner, Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm wrong in that one, definitely. Yeah.
And she has that weird Southern accent.
She does. There's like a little accent.
She's a really good actress. I love her
Yeah,
as an actress. And
yeah.
she plays an up and coming like producer. And William Hurt is the very, very handsome anchor man that is trying to break into, and then Albert Brooks is sort of like the third wheel that is a very good reporter, but can't get in the anchor chair because he just doesn't have it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes. Yes.
And it's sort of like a relationship between the three of them. Not in that way. Holly Hunter does get interested in William Hurt, but
Right.
Albert Brooks is like her best friend, but he secretly, I think, loves her. And
Oh, yeah, for sure. For
it's a
sure.
it's a really, really well acted movie. I just love that movie. He was also in, let me double check myself here. Body Heat,
Oh, yeah,
which is
that's Kathleen
Kathleen
Turner.
Turner.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Another film noir vibe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a very sexy movie,
Mhm.
very, very well acted
That's what I
movie.
was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. He was also in The Big Chill, which I
That's
really love.
great. He sure was. He sure was.
Yeah.
That was a great ensemble cast,
Very good ensemble
right?
cast. Interesting trivia about The Big Chill. That was supposed to be Kevin Costner's big debut into acting. And they cut his scenes, and the only thing you know of his character, you never see Kevin Costner, is that he's dead at the beginning, and that's how they all come back
I
together
didn't even
for a
realize
reunion at
that.
his
Oh
funeral.
my gosh. Yeah.
So
Oh my
poor
gosh.
Kevin got a scene cut and he wasn't in it.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that at all.
I'm trying to remember if William Hurt has passed away. I know that he quit acting at some point.
Wasn't he in a movie with Marlee Matlin? She's a hearing impaired
Children of a
actress.
Lesser God.
Yes, that was a great
That
movie.
was
Yeah,
a
she
very
won
good
an
movie as
Oscar
well.
for that. Yeah, that was
Mhm,
a very,
mhm.
very good movie and very kind of ahead of its time. Yeah, I really liked that movie. I remember that was a good one.
He was
Um,
also in a movie that I think was Oscar nominated. I'm not sure for him. But I did not see this movie. I should seek it out. I believe it's called The Accidental Tourist.
oh yeah, I haven't seen that either, and that
With
got very
Gina
good
Davis,
reviews.
I think,
I
is
think so. Yeah,
is
Gina
starring
Davis
that.
is very 80s lady.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, I have to seek that one out because I have
Same.
not seen that one
We'll give a
before.
little review of that one. Yeah.
So who's your number three?
My number four.
Oh, oh, four.
Yeah, my number four is Eddie Murphy. I cannot
Okay.
now look. I don't know that he's going to win an Oscar. You know he's still around. He could maybe, but let's be honest. As far as feel good movies go in the '80s, Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd.
That's my
I feel
fave.
like that was kind of like his breakout, right? I mean, Beverly Hills Cop definitely made him. Well, SNL made him a household
Of
name.
course, yes.
But I mean, I think Trading Places with he and Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis, that was such a
Mhm.
great movie. But definitely Beverly Hills Cop, I think, endeared him to everyone.
Yes.
And then Coming to America,
Yes,
what
with
a fun
Arsenio,
movie.
right?
Yes, with
Is that
Arsenio Hall. And Eddie Murphy got to really show his range by playing different
a
characters
lot of
in the
different
movie, a
characters.
lot of different characters. And
That sort of
such
became his shtick.
Yes, yes, because then in the next decade, or maybe it's even two later,
Yeah.
He did the Clumps, the Nutty Professor,
Nutty
the reboot of
Professor
the Nutty
remake. Yeah.
Professor, but that was a bit later. But Coming to America is really fun. A prince that comes, to America kind of undercover, not being a prince, and he works at what looks very much like a McDonald's or a Burger King. And he was looking to find a bride that doesn't want him for his money. And then, yeah, hilarity ensues. But I really, when I think 80s, I definitely think those Eddie Murphy blockbusters. You knew you were going to get a laugh. It was going to be a solid script. And yeah, that is, I definitely remember there were a few stinkers. Like there was a movie called The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, but I thought it wasn't bad. He tried to do a little bit more of a Bruce Willis Stallone vibe, where it still had a little comedy, but it was a little more action with the storyline
Yeah.
to it and some fight scenes. Didn't do so well in the theater as well as the others did, but yeah, I think Eddie Murphy's solid, and I think he can do endearing, and I think he can, he can definitely he's a solid lead as well. But that's my number four, Mr. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was my number two.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
no
the
way!
same
Okay. All
wavelength
right.
today.
Well, what's the quintessential Eddie Murphy movie to you?
Well, Trading Places is my favorite, but I think the first one I saw him in was 48 Hours with Nick
Oh,
Nolte.
yes. Yes.
A more serious movie, sort of
Hmm.
that Lethal Weapon vibe where Nick
Yeah.
Nolte's kind of a nut and
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
straight guy and he doesn't want to take any crap from Eddie Murphy, who he actually has to get out of jail. He gets Eddie Murphy out of jail for 48 hours to help him
All the
solve
crime,
this
right?
case.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of,
Banter.
tough action and
Yeah, yeah,
banter for sure. And Nick
yeah.
Nolte is still in his kind of attractive phase
Right,
before he
right,
starts to look like a nut. Poor Nick
right.
Nolte.
Poor guy.
Shouldn't be mean,
Yeah.
but that's the
Actually,
honest to God truth.
another really solid actor that, his life took some kind of turn apparently, or his health or something. I don't know
I
what,
think
but
his health, maybe his mental health a little bit as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
He's older than people think. Like
yeah,
he came along much earlier, really,
yeah.
and but he didn't get really big until after Rich Man Poor Man, and then he started going into the movies. But Eddie Murphy on SNL, you cannot beat his comedy and
You can't.
his characters that he created.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
also, like, what was really big in the 80s was his, I'm trying to think of who aired it. If it was, what was
Oh,
the
I know
only
what you're
thing at
gonna
the
say.
time? HBO.
It must have been HBO.
It was Eddie Murphy Raw, which was basically
Yes.
a live, stand-up comedy routine by him. Oh my God, that was funny.
He is in this iconic red leather
Yes,
pants and little zip up jacket combo that if you saw it, even if you don't know you know it, you would see it and be like, that's what they're talking about.
yes,
It's an iconic outfit, is
yes. And
yeah.
I was at the age where, he says a lot of bad words and
Mhm.
it just fair
Yeah, he
warning
does.
if anybody
He
goes
does.
and
Yeah.
watches it. But
Yeah.
I was at the age at the time where I thought that was kind of cool. I
It was
didn't
cool. It
mind
was
that
funny.
really.
He's hysterical. He's
And
hysterical.
the humor is far outweighs his
Yeah.
potty mouth. But
So good.
um,
So
yeah,
80s. So good.
he's become a really great actor because back to Dreamgirls,
Hmm.
his performance in Dreamgirls, because the dude can sing too. He had a hit in the 80s.
He did.
Was it that the 80s or was that the 90s?
No, I think that was the 80s. Isn't it that one, My Girl Likes to Party All the Time, that
Party
song?
all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he's a good singer.
He's a good
Like,
singer. That song is not necessarily an indication, but yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like
is
he did
true.
all his own singing in Dreamgirls and
Yeah,
so impressive.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
impressive. He's sort of playing the Marvin Gaye mixture of other people mixed into one. And, he delivers a song, a Marvin Gaye type song, and, hits some notes that I'm like, whoa, Eddie, very impressive.
He I think people that know him now would know more the family friendly Dr. Dolittle
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
shows, and Disney's Haunted Mansion and all that kind of stuff. And really he segued nicely into that kind of role later on. But yeah, when we were kids, he was raw, like the
Yeah.
thing says, and also very you know, even the movies, they were really fun, but you knew his character was gonna get the naughty lines and be a little, he was like an anti-hero. He always played right like a bit of an anti,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
which was
yeah.
really fun.
But the
But
reason
yeah,
I love Trading Places so much is because he kind of got to revert, reverse roles in the middle of it.
right,
Same with Dan Aykroyd, who also did
right,
a great job in that
yeah,
movie.
yes.
And the change of him going from being, the poor guy to the rich guy,
Yeah.
he did it so seamlessly. Like it could have been very contrived, and I don't feel like it was with the two of them in
I think
particular.
they were really good together and two very different types of comedians, but so good
Yes.
together. I really enjoyed that.
Eddie a little over the top, but he really
Mhm.
controlled himself in this
Yeah.
movie. And
Yes.
then Dan Aykroyd, just that very
Yeah.
underneath kind of comedy is I
Yeah.
always found Dan Aykroyd very funny as well.
Yeah. 100%. Yes, for sure. For sure.
So
All
I'm all
right.
mixed up about where we
I
are
think we're
since
on number three. We should be on number three because Eddie was
so
my
you
number
know my
four.
number three. So
Yeah.
what's yours?
Okay. My number three is Chevy Chase. I know lately he's got a lot of bad press for being very difficult or what have you, but
Dude's in his 80s. People need to give him a break,
I
right?
think so too. And also, a lot of times, let's be honest, people that are good actors or comedians, there's a lot of stuff underneath that gives them, that might not be so favorable, but that's what gives them the ammo to have the jokes and to have a little bit of an acting range. But to be an 80s kid, Vacation,
Mm,
first of all,
can't beat it.
that was like the first of its kind. We mentioned Imogene Coca yesterday, playing Aunt Edna on Vacation. Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles, Beverly D'Angelo, um, Randy Quaid, of course. I always think about what is her name? Jane Krakowski, who we now know is
Yes.
so talented of a singer and a actress and a comedian. But
On
she
30
is,
Rock, she
yes,
got real
she
popular again.
yeah, she has a teeny little part as cousin Eddie's daughter, and I remember she stirs the Kool-Aid with her hand.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
anyway, but the whole vacation series, I mean, just so funny. I love European Vacation. I remember I was actually having a slumber party and we were watching European Vacation where my mom had a friend that was a cut up, our mom, and he was outside putting up a banner saying, Sakes alive, she's 45 about my mom and trying to be sneaky about it. And one of my friends at the slumber party was like, I hear something. And we were watching, had European Vacation turned up so loud. But anyway, yeah, he was pulling a prank on my mom at the same time. But anyway, so the vacation series, of course, Christmas Vacation, and then Fletch. Fletch was a really big deal at the time.
Yeah.
And that
And
was,
I think he had a sequel, right? Fletch
yeah,
Lives also.
yes, yes, which I don't know if it did as well, but Fletch was very big. And of course, I don't remember it doing great review wise, but it was a very big deal to see. And that was Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin.
That totally got panned by the
It
critics.
got panned by the critics, but anybody who was alive at that time was like running to see Three Amigos. It was
And
fun.
what a good
It was
cast of
fun. Yeah,
people
what an
there. Steve
amazing
Martin, Martin
cast.
Short, funny, funny
Oh my
people.
gosh, what an amazing cast. But I really don't think Funny Farm he was in with Madeline Smith. She's a very
Hmm.
80s lady that you only
Yes.
really saw in that decade. But really, I mean, when you think box office blockbusters, I mean, Chevy Chase was attached to a bunch of them in the 80s, that's for sure.
Well, there's a cult classic that he's in, Caddyshack.
Yes. Yes, yes. That would have been, was that the very early 80s, right? Would that
Yeah.
have even, yeah, I don't think it was the 70s. Yeah,
I
that
don't know
had
if
a
that was
great cast.
before or after the first vacation. I think it was
I
before.
think before.
Yeah.
I think
I think
before, yeah.
Foul Play was his first movie. And then I'm guessing Caddyshack came shortly thereafter.
There's a second movie though with Goldie Hawn. It's not Foul
Mhm.
Play. It's the
Seems
other
like old times.
seems like old times. And
Hmm.
it had who's the guy that plays
Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin? That's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking of. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
had such a great like straight lace guy and Chevy Chase. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good movie too. But I don't know if that was 70s or 80s, maybe early 80s.
It
But
might have been 80s.
But yeah, Chevy Chase, let's be honest, Vacation is in a genre by itself. I
It
think.
really is. It could be a
Yeah,
deep dive of its own because you're
yeah,
right. They're all good in a different way. I
Hmm.
think sometimes European vacation gets forgotten
Right.
because,
Right.
Christmas vacation is so big. The
Yeah.
Vegas vacation, I think, had a lot of talk because they had finally come out with another one, the
Right.
same
It had been
round
a
of
while. It
Vegas.
had been a while. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't know if that got as much hype, but yeah. So my number three, Chevy Chase.
Oh, I like that. So you got to do your number two also, because
Oh,
mine
I
was
do.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, my number two, and I said it, I think, when we were talking about our favorite movies, and that's Sylvester Stallone. I
Mm,
mean, the whole Rocky franchise, the Rambo franchise, um, it's brilliant. They're both brilliant. And if you think of the 80s, particularly action movies, Stallone rises to the top for sure.
yes.
And like we said, he has that little mixture. He can play vulnerable, even as Rambo, he can play vulnerable. He can do just straight up action. And I admire that, each movie, he even goes the extra mile to get fitter and fitter. I mean, he
Yeah.
gets the formula. He gets the
Yeah.
formula. And I mean, you can't have the 80s without Stallone. I mean, honestly.
I agree. I mean, he had a few stinkers in there too,
He
but who
did.
doesn't? What
Yeah.
actor doesn't have a stinker or two, you know?
Right. Right.
And I
Right.
think people sometimes will hone in on the stinkers and forget the great work that he actually put out there.
Right.
I have a funny story about Stallone.
Okay.
So there is a movie with John Travolta that
Mhm.
I'm probably the only one in the world that actually loves this movie.
I already know what it is.
But Sylvester Stallone,
Directed.
pro- directed it or produced it, and he trained John Travolta to look the way John Travolta did in that movie. And it's
Mhm.
the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. It's called Staying Alive, which
And there's a little cameo where Stallone, they're on a crowded
they bump.
street.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And they
He
like
did the
bumped
Hitchcock
shoulders.
thing.
And he turned back and looked at him like, but
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Stallone's almost actually wearing like this
Oh,
serape.
it looked like a fur. Was it fur?
I don't know. It looked like it was like almost like a serape. Yeah, it was a very interesting looking
Yeah.
coat that he had on.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I like I said, I may be the only one that loves that movie, but I love that
I
movie.
like the soundtrack to that movie. And I like Cynthia Rhodes. I think she's so talented and she gets to dance and sing in
Rose
that
was
movie.
so good in it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
And
No, Finola Hughes, no, girl, not in this. General Hospital, do your thing. But this
yeah,
was a little bit, I felt like
I
not
was
quite her thing.
like the Fatal Attraction. I was like, John, why would you cheat on Cynthia Rhodes? She's like amazing, and with Finola Hughes, but
I know.
that was the storyline, I guess.
That is the
I
storyline.
did think Finola Hughes did a good job in the dancing parts.
Right, right.
Very different dancer than Cynthia Rhodes, who was so
Yeah,
acrobatic and everything. But
yeah,
um,
yes.
yeah, so that was just a little
Not as
plug
Stallone.
for
Yes,
Sly.
I believe he directed Staying Alive, but yeah, I
Okay,
always remember that scene. And you're right, John Travolta's like body composition became very different. He had
he
the
totally
six pack,
changed
the
it.
little delts, yes, you're
And
very
for that
right.
role, he really needed it because that end scene where they do that final dance, I mean, he's basically only wearing a loincloth through
Yeah.
it. So he needed to look good.
Spoiler. So if there's a reason to see Staying Alive, we gave you the two
That's it.
reasons. The
Yes.
bump into Stallone and the loincloth. No, yeah, it's a departure. It wasn't that smooth disco vibe. This was like that aggressive, in your face 80s, over the top, smoke and mirrors, all of the above.
But it
And
did have legit dance in it.
it
That's
did.
why I like it.
Right.
There were,
Legit
and
stage dancing, right? Like they
yes,
were performing, they were making up a performance. He was
and
acting on that stage.
Travolta pulled it off.
He did.
Like
He
he
did.
wasn't doing any big turns like a lot of the men were, but he totally pulled the part off
He
for
did.
sure. It and
He did.
did a tremendous amount of dancing in it. So I give
Yeah.
him props for that. I didn't mean to get off of Sly,
No,
but
actually,
basically Sly put that whole movie together for him.
I love that. And there was one that was a bit of a stinker with him and Kurt Russell, which should have been such a great pairing called Tango and Cash. And I think
Oh yeah.
even though I don't think of Kurt Russell in the same league, no offense to you, Kurt Russell, you're a great actor, as Stallone as far as being able to hold our attention. Well, not hold our attention, but be the lead in an action movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I loved him in a movie called Big Trouble in Little China. That was a very
yeah,
good movie. But the two of them just didn't click right for Tango and Cash. And then they
yeah.
had a young, beautiful Terry Hatcher in it, and I feel like they kind of wasted her character a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know, it just didn't
I
click.
never saw that one.
It didn't click. And then Cobra, I thought was awesome. That was another action movie that was very famous, a cop movie in the 80s with Stallone. And then he tried his hand at comedy. I think it was called Oscar. I could be wrong, but I don't even know if I saw the
That
whole
one.
thing. It was a little terrible. It was a little
Well, he
terrible.
also did that little comedy with Estelle Getty, like "Don't shoot, my mom is something."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Watch out, or my mom will shoot, or
That's
something like that.
that's right. Oh no. And wait, the worst one ever, Rhinestone with him and Dolly Parton.
Oh God,
Oh, you
yes.
guys don't do it. Or do it
Never
if you
do
want
that
to
one.
chuckle. Oh God, they came back to me as we were talking. That's the point of this show, by the way, you guys. Um, Dolly Parton was coming off of that 9 to 5 era, right? And she's
Yes.
trying to train him to be a country singer. Their chemistry is terrible, even though they're
Yeah.
both such attractive people. And she's so cute, and he's so in this kind of cute and vulnerable, whatever. It's bad. Oh, it's bad.
It's equivalent to Burt Reynolds at Long Last Love.
Oh, I
Like
don't
in
know
that,
that.
I don't know if you know that one, but it was Burt Reynolds and Sybil Shepherd was in it with him, which was weird.
Mm,
And they tried to go into like, a La La Land kind of thing
mm.
where they were doing like musical theater.
Oh no, like Xanadu kind of.
Not that
Xan-
bad, but
Xanadu with Burt Reynolds. That's a different thing. But anyway, so my number two is Mr. Sylvester Stallone.
I love that. I love that. So
All
are we on
right.
to number one?
We're
We
on
didn't
to
miss
number
you in
one.
there, did we?
We didn't miss it. I think because
Okay.
we had two crossovers. That's why.
Yes. So my number one is Mr. Gorgeous of this time. My normal Mr. Gorgeous from
I was
Old
gonna
Hope
say
is
Paul
Paul Newman. Yeah,
Newman.
this and I'll tell you later a trick that Aunt Mary played on me. But my number one is Kevin Costner.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
again, Kevin Costner, I think, got a little bit of a bad rap after Waterworld. That was
Yes,
like his big extravaganza. It was a total bomb. But in the 80s, Kevin Costner was on fire.
he was.
He was putting out one great movie after another. And so I have two faves. It's funny that they're both about baseball,
Okay.
but I love Bull Durham with
Mhm.
Susan Sarandon. That is such a fun movie, and I
That is.
love Kevin Costner in that. He's so cute.
He is very cute in that
And
movie.
the other one is called Field of Dreams.
With Amy Madigan, who doesn't get
Yes.
enough credit. She's got the cutest little husky voice. She's married to Ed Harris in real life, who's so
Oh,
talented
who
as
I
well.
also think is very cute, Ed
Oh, I think
Harris.
he's adorable.
Yes.
He's one of my total crushes. But Amy Madigan is so great as his wife, and not your typical pick,
No, no,
someone
not
you
the
partner
Karen
him
you
up
would
with.
expect. Yeah,
Mhm. She's
yeah.
got a personality that's bigger and different than you'd expect to be paired with him in that. What a interesting, different movie, right?
And that movie makes me
It
cry.
is a very emotional
It's
movie.
very moving. I mean,
Mhm. If you
it
build
just,
it, they will come. Yeah.
yes, and they
Yeah,
did.
they did. They
And
did.
Burt Lancaster has such an interesting part in that movie as
Mhm.
well. Um,
I would call it a supernatural movie, but not a horror by any means. Supernatural,
right.
right? When you say like a fantasy
Yeah, I
movie, but
guess. I mean, not like a poltergeist or anything.
no,
Much
no, no.
more
In a warm-hearted, like It's a
feel
Wonderful Life
good.
kind, like It's a
Yeah,
Wonderful Life kind
there
of
you go.
way.
I
Yeah,
like that. I like that analogy.
right. That's probably accurate. Yes.
Yeah. He was also in, like, I think the first movie I ever saw him in was was a thriller called No Way Out.
Oh, yes, Gene Hackman, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And Sean Young was the female lead in that, who
right.
I think
Right.
had some issues later on in life.
She
But
wanted to be Catwoman, and so she went on all the talk shows. They had already chosen Michelle Pfeiffer, and she went on all the talk shows trying to make an appeal to, I think, Tim Burton, and it just made her look nutsier and nutsier. It was not good.
yeah,
She
I
like
think he was
really,
having some emotional,
yeah,
mental
yeah.
issues for sure. But
And
she
no
was very
kidding,
good in
most
that
people like
movie.
that. She was good. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
she was
very good in
very
that movie.
good.
Yeah. And not to imply, sorry, Sean Young, I'm sure I don't know what your your backstory is, but she went way over the top on these
She
shows,
did.
like trying to get attention to be
Yeah.
this character. And it's like, nope, we got Michelle Pfeiffer, we're good. But very Sean Young had a very sexy, again, a very film noir. Even No Way Out had that kind of
Yes,
feel.
it
A
did.
thriller for sure. Gene Hackman, God rest his soul, very great in it as always, everything
Yes,
he
he's
does.
such a great actor, period.
But I know what you're going to say is the big one. It was our mom's favorite. She was going crazy, clamoring for this movie.
No, what
Kevin
was it?
Costner, Dances with Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Long movie, by the way, guys. Very, very long, but good. Very interesting. An
Yeah,
interesting
I felt
movie.
it was too long. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like it was his masterpiece,
It was.
but
It was very long.
it was a very long movie. But there is a very big highlight.
Go ahead. What is it?
You get to see a little more of Kevin Costner.
You do. You see a lot more of Kevin Costner. It is funny though, the length of that movie, because I have a friend who's like very famous in bodybuilding called Big J, and he'll always like tag somebody in the gym to film him lifting, and he'll be like, "Look, it's not Dances with Wolves. It's gonna be short. You don't need 87 camera angles." He's like, "Just film me doing the set." But it's like, yeah, Dances with Wolves was long and a lot of different camera movement, right? The camera's like, "Hey, hey." A lot, but it was very good for sure.
I have to tell you a funny Kevin Costner story.
Yes.
So, our family used to go to the beach every year, and our aunt and our cousin played
Hmm.
a terrible joke on me. Do you remember this?
I remember because I was with them when we came up with the joke.
Oh, that's right. So you were in on it too.
I a
That's
little,
right.
yeah, I was a little bit in on it because I said, "Who is the person that Aunt Mary and I would be real mad if they didn't see?" And we all agreed, Kevin Costner. Yeah, we pull a little prank and said
Joke
that
on
we, yeah,
our aunt also. So it was you and our cousin who created
yeah.
this, right?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. It
Okay.
was. It was an innocent prank. There is always, it was down south, and there's always this big golf tournament. And Kevin
You're
Costner is
right.
an avid golfer, and there were celebrities there. And we had to go do some boring visiting, I'm not going to lie, of our, distant
Yes.
cousins and our great
Yes.
aunts. And God bless them. Now, as an adult, I appreciate that we got to go see them, but we were teens and
Yeah.
like, oh man. And so you got out of it. You're like, no, thank you, goodbye. And so the all we cousins were like going around the town, and there was that big golf tournament, and there were celebrities there. Who was there escapes me now, but we're like, we're gonna say we saw Kevin Costner. And then you were like, oh, how did I miss him?
I
But
was
yeah,
like so bummed, and then you
yeah,
guys finally let me off the
yes,
hook.
yes, I know, I know. But no, that was a great pick. That was a great pick.
Well,
He
who's
is
your number one?
my number one is a man who I feel like typifies the 80s. He's another one that if you heard his name, you're like, I'm there. This movie is going to be bang for the buck. Um, he is, I think people at first surface when they saw him when he made his movie premieres thought, oh, this guy's just a big guy, maybe not the smartest guy, but he is all the way to the bank a smart guy. And that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
Ronald.
the Conan franchise, the Terminator franchise, all part of our culture now, those
Yes.
names, and Predator, which had my guy Carl Weathers in it. We're back to Carl Weathers again.
Yes.
Gosh, Jesse the Body Ventura, a lot of really popular like wrestlers and big names in action were all together in that movie. And Predator's another huge franchise that still to this day they have all those like horror movies
Yeah.
like Predator versus so and so. But Arnold really that first Conan the Barbarian was a movie the likes of which no one had really seen yet. I mean, after we had Beastmaster and all these kind of knockoffs, but it was
Yeah.
really the first of its kind that showcased that kind of physique, first of all. I mean, back in the days, I want to say in the 60s, 50s, maybe they had Steve Reeves and guys like that playing Hercules. But still, this was really the first of its kind where the physique almost took center stage on these
Yeah.
action movies. And then Terminator, again, just part of our culture now, right?
Yeah.
That
And
entire concept.
was his, am I confusing him with someone else? Was his very first movie in the United States called Pumping Iron?
Well, Pumping Iron is a bodybuilding documentary, and yes, he is
Okay.
in that. I think
Okay.
his first movie was some real low budget. I think since he had such a thick Austrian accent, they even
Yeah.
dubbed in his
Oh,
voice. But and someone watching can put this in the comments, but it's him and another guy also with the physique playing characters. It may even have been mythical characters like Hercules, but it was like Hercules in the city. It was like a little, it was, yeah. But I think the first time that people really took notice was definitely Conan the Barbarian. I mean, oh my gosh, people were like, who's this guy? What is this about?
yeah.
But definitely, and then of course the whole Terminator story arc there, and
He took
it's
the world by storm in the 80s for sure.
he really did. And then I believe this was early 90s, but then you got to see him dabble in like twins with Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And there's there's actually a famous thing they're showing now, an interview, and Eddie Murphy is doing an impression of Arnold asking him to be in the Twins sequel with him and Danny DeVito, where they could play triplets.
Uh,
And look it up. Look it up, you guys. Go on because Eddie Murphy doing an impression of Arnold, asking him to be the third brother.
sure, it's awesome.
Gosh, it's hysterical. But but yeah, another guy like Stallone that understands the formula. He understands what we want to see. He delivers.
He
And he really
delivers.
does deliver. Yeah. And just such again an 80s icon, but still an icon really. I mean, he's certainly went on to do a lot of other things, but
Yeah.
certainly an 80s.
Shockingly so. I remember being
Yeah.
quite shocked about that, but I
Yes.
have a
Yes.
confession to make. I
Okay.
have never seen an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Have you not even twins? Even something like twins?
No, no, not even Kindergarten Cop or any of
Oh,
those.
that's a cute one. Kindergarten Cop is so cute. Now, I want you to skip out on this one where he plays pregnant. I don't even understand what that
Oh,
was about.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
like a jump the shark moment, I feel like, but he still came back from it somehow. Um, but yeah, Kindergarten Cop is really cute. And he is a guy that he can be vulnerable and a little funny as well and make fun of
Yeah. He's
himself. And
definitely funny. I've seen him on
yeah,
talk shows.
yeah.
He's a good
Yeah.
entertainer for
He
sure.
definitely, and again, like I said, he just gets the formula. He knows what we want to see. That if you go to an action movie, especially in the 80s, we don't really want your entire backstory. There's a movie with Arnold called Commando, and a very young Alyssa Milano, probably during the time she did Who's the Boss, she plays his daughter and she gets kidnapped. And you better know what happens next. And that's what you want. We got a little backstory. We've got some revenge, and we know the bad guys are going to get it. And that's what we really know. We're tuned in to see. But he did one called, this was an interesting take. I think it was called Red Heat, where he actually played, I believe, and people correct me, a Soviet police officer that came over to America to solve a crime. And Jim Belushi, not John Belushi, Jim Belushi
Yeah.
was his partner, who was like the fast talking American guy.
Oh,
Not the best
okay.
movie ever, but not bad. Again, the formula
Oh,
was there. The formula was
yeah.
there. So
He's
yeah.
definitely like Sly in the respect that he did a lot of movies and a
Mhm.
lot of sequels of his
Mhm.
great ones.
Yeah,
So
built out the
a lot
franchise.
under his belt for sure.
Hmm.
I guess
Hmm.
I just never went to any of his movies because that just wasn't my type of movie at that age, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think it's indicative of middle school. It was junior high when we were kids, but junior
yeah.
high to high school kids in that time frame. I graduated in '89. really was that time of the action movie. That
Yes.
formulaic action movie, that was our bread and butter then. And
Yeah.
still to this day, our brother James and I used to watch a franchise called American Ninja with Michael Dudikoff. And it was, I would say, a more B grade franchise, but
I've
honestly,
never heard of it.
top notch. I mean, again, such a specific formula. This amazing actor called Steve James, who's a martial artist, but also could do some comedy. Um, it was just such a great franchise. So I guess if I had to do under the action genre, if I had to do an honorable mention, it would be the American Ninja franchise. But that was
Was
just
that in the movie theaters or on television?
I believe it was in the movies, but we saw it, of course, on like Cinemax or whatever on
Yeah,
cable.
yeah.
But yeah, so that,
To say I've never even heard of that.
Michael
Interesting.
Dudikoff was in it's a Tom Hanks movie, Bachelor Party.
Oh God, I
He's a
saw that
blonde.
100 years ago.
He's actually a very cute blonde, blue-eyed guy. He was on TV a bit. I know somebody watching right now is going to be like, I saw him in this, but he headed up that American Ninja series. He
Okay.
was he was on, there's a very short-lived show. In fact, I swear I think it had 2 episodes, but it had Brian Dennehy. It was a comedy called Star in the Family or Star of the Family, and he played the brother.
Same time frame, the 80s?
Yes,
Huh,
yes, yes, for
I don't
sure.
remember
Look
that.
that one up, gang. There was
Okay.
like I think I feel like Brian Dennehy's daughter, which would have been this guy's sister,
Yeah.
was aspiring to be a little singing star, a little country music star. But I remember seeing it as a
Oh.
kid, and it didn't last very long, but it had a good cast. I think Brian Dennehy. I hope I'm not saying the wrong guy. There's two guys I always get confused. I know Brian Dennehy if I see him, but Paul, you would know him if you saw him die. But he's another.
Sorvino?
No, but they kind
Okay.
of in that same vein.
Yeah, that's what when you said Brian
They,
Dennehy, I
they
was like,
play the responsible dad or the
yeah.
responsible cop in the neighborhood or whatever. But anyway, I digress. Michael Dudikoff was in that too. But again, if you were a kid in the 80s, you had an action, a soft spot for the action. And I have to say one honorable mention. I know we always end up going way longer than we say, but my
Okay.
honorable mention for the 80s is Mr. Patrick Swayze.
Oh,
He is a stand-up guy. I am not, and before you send nasty cards and letters, everyone, I'm not a big Dirty Dancing fan, but I'm a big Roadhouse fan. Oh man, I love him in Roadhouse. I love him in Roadhouse. And you got Sam Elliott in that.
oh,
Oh,
I love Sam Elliott. Oh my
oh.
Lord.
But anyway, Patrick Swayze is my runner up for these.
Well, I had one that I had a hard time not putting in my list, but he kind of is at the tail end of the 80s. Well, sort of. I don't know. And that's Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah, Silence of the
Really,
Lambs. Yeah.
really good actor.
Mhm.
Um, he was in, I think the first movie I ever saw him in was a novel that I had read um, called Audrey Rose.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's a scary one. That's a little bit
It's
weak. Yeah.
such a good movie,
Yeah.
actually. It Marcia Mason plays the his wife, and the
Hmm.
little
Hmm.
girl is kind of an interesting little actress.
Hmm.
Almost almost overacts a little bit, but it works in the movie and
It's a
definitely
dramatic movie. There's a lot of
it's
drama to it. Yeah.
it's a very
The
dramatic
the
movie.
setup is that Anthony Hopkins approaches this couple, right? He's the one approaching the
Yes.
couple, saying
Yes.
he believes their daughter is his daughter reincarnated who had died in a fiery car crash.
Yes, that's right. Marcia Mason isn't Anthony Hopkins' wife.
She
She's John Beck's wife.
Yes, he's on Dallas, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It all comes back to Dallas in the end,
It does, doesn't it,
really.
though? I mean, why shouldn't it? It's so
And it
spectacular.
really should.
But
But
Anthony Hopkins was in
mhm.
another creepy movie. He was in the movie called Magic
Oh
with Anne
yes.
Margaret, where he
Mhm.
has a ventriloquist dummy that,
Mhm. That he's slowly succumbing to, basically.
yes,
And
yes.
Anne Margaret does not play her typical role. I
No,
mean,
she
she's
doesn't.
always beautiful, but she's just a random lady that owns a
Yeah.
He knew her in high school, I think, but
Oh,
they
I
weren't
can't
friends.
remember the details
There was
super
some
well,
connection.
but he was very authentically creepy in
Yeah.
it, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. That is a great honorable mention. Well,
But
as
he's such a
always,
great actor. You can't
he
beat him in anything,
you
really.
cannot. You cannot. And he can go from super despicable and creepy to very vulnerable. Yeah, he's
Yes.
very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. Um, as always, it was hard to narrow down, that's for
Yes.
sure. And so, everybody, of course, share your top five favorite actors from male actors. I know nowadays when people say actors, they could mean either. We're kind of old school. We probably say actors or actresses, but top five male actors from the 1980s. Share in the comments if you have anything to add, or if we went, what's the name of that person? And share in the
Yeah,
comments.
please
We
help
need
us out.
some. Look, this postmenopausal brain, I can only hold so much. Think I'm doing pretty well. Or actually, I remember old stuff I don't need to know, but that's okay. I do need to know it for this show, right?
That's right. I gotta remind myself of
Yeah.
movies they were in and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, I
It's
love it.
fun though. It's fun to
It's
revisit it.
so fun. And especially, again, not being political, but things can get pretty serious nowadays. And it's like,
Yes.
let's get
Too
in the
serious.
Wayback Machine and have a few laughs.
I
So,
totally agree. I want to
on
again thank everybody who's watched us so far and just, I don't mean to sound like, a beggar, but
we
if
can
you
tag a little.
subscribe to us at the very least, that would be so helpful to our channel. It puts us out there in the algorithm world, and gets more views. And that's what we want. We want to share our fun with as many people as we possibly can. And we need y'all's help to do that. So
And
we'll
it's
keep
a
going.
little corny, but I see this stuff as, all the hard work these actors put in and all the writers and all the things that go into making these movies. It really does, it elevated everyone's life at the time. You know what I mean? You saw
Yes.
it and you felt some type of way, and it's a part of your memories and your comfort. So I think it's good to keep it going and keep people remembering.
And I love to rewatch these things and get those feelings back again because they'll resurge. You'll get it. You might even see new things and feel new things about it.
I love
It's
it.
it's a reminder to go back and watch some of
It
these.
is. And then from your grown-up perspective, having life
Mhm.
experience under your belt now, you do get a different look at it for sure. And it
Absolutely.
makes you like Ann Archer and Fatal Attraction even more.
Yes. Poor Anne. I'm traumatized all over again thinking.
Everybody's gonna be watching that tonight. You'll not be disappointed.
No,
Oh
you
my gosh.
won't.
All right. Well, thanks as always, Groovy Granny. Love you, sis. And we'll see
Love
you
you
guys next
too.
time on Something Suddenly Came Up, a retro review.
Bye
Bye.
bye, everybody.